ball team. I don't remember what you call it. Is smoking in Georgia. Bring a break.
Yeah, I tip with the derail. You said the small ball peen mall is smoking in Georgia. Hey, derail. That's what you're doing over here, too. I got a gate rolling to prove it. Derail, Motormouth Mall, cruising, they got down.
I'm gonna take 77 BT.
Yeah, folks, I figured I'd let you know I bumped the volume up a little bit, too. Sounded some kind of wonderful over here. Hello, Triple M, derail with the wave.
10 for the derail, I appreciate that. Hey, derail, I appreciate you bumping it down. Take a bit of time out of your schedule to spike the mic and look around the west side. We just out here. Oh, I got the closed door. Damn. And all the fans and things blowing in the other room. We don't need that door open. Hey, derail. We don't need that doggone door open to break Motormouth Mall cruising.
Mowing. Both it. That's not like me, man. I got you seen it? I got that double plug in, what, about 5 or 6 inch fall? I suppose in that room it looked like something made for somebody in a straight suit. And then I got them double doors all insulated. Then I got that soundproof curtain covering that. And then I'm wrapped up all over here in like a double plug in studio. Got the double wall plexiglass over here, or Lexan, whichever, or what do you want to call it? And doggone if I ain't got the foam in here too, but it's only about 1 inch thick, because I'm not worried about hurting myself there, Brayden.
10-4. Well, you know, you can get really excited in that room like that when the skip rolls. You can get really excited and start bouncing off the doggone walls. And you won't hurt yourself at all. That's pretty good. Yeah, you got to do a lot when you got all that blowers and stuff right there with you. You got to do a lot to cancel that noise and get rid of that noise, because those things could be loud and bodacious and ridiculous. But you got it all squared away. I tell you what, I don't hear none of that background stuff. You know, it's all derail, wall-to-wall, treetop all over here. You see it on the gate. I got you all up in here, and you're smoking. Ain't no doubt about that. Well, I just got my rotor done, got the rotor back up on the tower, got the tower back up. I'm sitting at about 54 feet right now. And everything is back to snuff again, back to fully functional and operational. Derail around Georgia, Motormouth Mall waving. I hope I ain't got the audio turned up too hot to break.
Good over here. 54 spot, 54 feet, man. That sounds like a sweet spot, too. It sounds great. No pain, no strain. If anything, more conservative. But ain't nothing wrong with that. Now I can cut the volume up and the dub plugger rattle my eardrums. Hey, Triple M, it sounds great, man. Crystal clear. I'm right back.
410. Well, we like the eardrum rattling bass. I mean, I got more bass I can throw up in there. I just don't know if I want to go too far. There's a little bit more, and a lot more, and all of it right there. Derail, that's all of it right there. But I'm going to take it back where I was. Motormouth Mall working this thing. I got a whole lot of deep bass. Deep bass 9, ain't no doubt about that. Oh, derail, Motormouth Mall cruising. I got down. Oh, yeah, it's got plenty of bass, but the distorted battles. You're conservative as far as your audio. So you can really and I would like more mids, but I'm going to say you don't have to mess with it because it sounds good like it sits. Triple M, I don't think I hardly ever heard you sound bad before. Maybe a couple times on the edge, but I don't think it was ever been bad. But it sounds great now. Ain't nothing on the edge they're breaking. 410. Well, I got the mids down. I got them toned down to a kind of a neutral setting, and I can certainly bump the mids up in there a little bit more, make it a little bit more peaky and a little bit louder, a little bit more shrill for you. Not shrill, but, you know, I put a little bit more mids up in there for you. Derail, Motormouth Mall working a small mall right there right now. I got down, breaker. Oh, yeah, sounds good there. I didn't even know you was, was you working on the
But was that what you was working on, getting it back straight where you could put it where you want to?
Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely. Everything is perfect. 100% on this end. And, yeah, I couldn't ask for too much better there, Break. Now I can go back and go forward with my other two plans to get just a little bit, to squeeze about 6.5 dB more out of this out of this station. I believe I got about another 6.5 dB to go before I reach my desired limit there, Break.
Yeah. Boy, that sounds awesome. Hey, that sounds awesome, man. Climb another S unit, another 6 dB, double it twice. Close here, breaker.
Yep, 10-4. It's going to be good, you know, doubled it twice, 6 dB more, 6.5, one more S unit, without any loss and no degradation and no loss of headroom. It's just going to be a big old hammer, that's all. It's going to be bigger than what it is now, but a little bit more bigger. Derail, motor mouth mall, cruising this thing one fat watt at a time, and the gate's still rolling.
Yeah, I want to keep keying every time.
Boy, sounds like a beautiful thing. I think 12 might have been trying to get in there. I could have slow keyed and waited. But I think he was saying something about getting in there. I don't know if he's talking about to me. He probably was. I'm not sure, though. But, man, that sounds like a beautiful thing coming. I can't wait to hear it. 6 more dB. You always stay above the 9 on this meter. So I'm going to see that meter move on further. That's for sure. 6 more dB, because we in the dB range there, 410.
Yeah, 410. Another full S unit's going to be nice. And check this out. Let me play this back one time for you.
I think he was saying something about getting in there. I don't know if he's talking about to me. He probably was. I'm not sure, though. But, man, that sounds like a beautiful thing coming. I can't wait to hear it. 6 more dB. You always stay above the 9 on this meter. So I'm going to see that meter move on further. That's for sure. 6 more dB, because we in the dB range there, 410.
We're definitely up in the dB range. Oh, stop. We're definitely up in the dB range. Hey, Derail, you up in the dB range? It's all about the birds and the bees. The bird watts and decibels. Ain't no doubt about that. Oh, dear, one more time. Derail, I hope that playback was all right. Motor mouth mall cruising, they got down.
Oh, yeah, playback sounded good. Somebody was kind of riding there with you. Really, they wasn't riding with you. They was riding underneath you because I couldn't even make out a word they said. I could just hear them kind of keying the whole time. But you was all by yourself, that's for sure. How many dBs of attenuation, how many decibels of attenuation you got in line over there? Come on.
I got 25 dB. 25 dB to get your signal to fit on here. Key up again. I'm going to crank it up all the way and see what the signal looks like when you're up in there without the attenuator.
All right, I'm going to key it again. Look like conditions dropped back that last key. So we'll see if we can pick it up in there. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to let you play around with that attenuation. Motor Derail, see if I can hit the overload light a time or two. Derail, break.
No, you didn't hit the overload light, but I'll tell you what you did. I put in 120 dB. That's all I can put in. I put 120 dB of attenuation in, I can still hear you. Now, I don't know what that... Oh, wait a second. I take that back. I lied. I cheated. Do it one more time. I had the other receive antenna wired in at the same time, so when I had the other one off, I think I was still getting something out of the other one. All right, do that one more time. Let me see how much I can throw in there.
All right, I'm going to let you... Move them all about, all around. Hey, motor mouth mob, I'm trying to break up in there when you put about 80, 90 dBs in line, trying to pull this double-plugging hammer down. Hey, motor mouth mob, Derail, trying to put it all out there for the lamb, break.
It didn't matter if I had that other antenna or not. I turned off the other antenna, and I could still roll 120 dB, and I can still hear you. I can still hear you after putting 120 dB of attenuation in line, and I could drop you down to nothing, and that's not like an RF gain. That's actual attenuation on the input of the radio, and I can still hear you. So yeah, you got a hammer coming up in here. Not too many people do that. Hey, Derail, not too many people do that over here. That's for doggone sure. Motor Mouth Mall, let you know.
Yeah, we got some pretty decent skip. It ain't like full quieting type of skip, but it's good conditions. You know, it's like Georgia getting a little bit of turn. It's kind of like when it sticks and stays over here in Georgia, but it ain't peaked yet. Like you ain't peaked on the S meter yet, but you're holding that consistent hammer because Georgia's got a little bit of turn. I think we just had to wait for just about all the skip to be gone for Louisiana and Texas to finally not have conditions to Cali. And now Georgia's finally getting a turn. Hey, Triple M, Derail, bringing it on back.
Yep, 10-4. I believe that's about right. And you know, it's all about Mother Nature. We can't make or by the way, I forgot if you said you'd like any more bass in there or not. So I'm gonna roll while you got the gate roll. I'm just gonna roll the bass up in there a little bit more, like that right there. You might say it's too much. But anyway, yeah, Mother Nature dipping and dabbing. She's changing, the seasons changing around a little bit, you know. So I'd expect different results as time goes on. But so far, it looks like we got us a little bit of a miniature pipeline over here. Probably not totally peaked as far as it would go, and I'm sure I could raise and lower the tower a little bit more, but right now I'm just too lazy to deal with any of that. But, man, you got a hammer over here. Hey, Derail, ain't nobody out there gets up on my radio very often and lets me put 120 dB of attenuation up in there and still hear them. Motor Mouth Mall cruising, they got down.
Yeah, 410. What's it do with no attenuation? What's it hit like 20 or 30 over? When I get about 20 or 30 dB over S9 on that SDR, when you take all the attenuation out. I'm just being nosy out there. But yeah, I can't wait for that little telescoping deal. I don't remember what you called it. It's got a fancy scientific name. But I can't wait for that thing you're going to hook me up with over there eventually to see the tele-something. You call it tele-something. I can't even remember it. Hey, Triple M, you know what I'm talking about there. Come on.
Oh, yes, I sure do. Yeah, Mother Nature changed up a little bit. I rolled the attenuation all the way out, and you're down around into 20 plus 20 over, and you were up about almost 30. So she moving, shifting, and dipping and dabbing a little bit. Yeah, when I get you dialed in with that, I gotta get back into that project again. I've been on a I've been steering away from it for a little bit, but I gotta get back into that mode. So I'll get working on that here back in a little while. We'll get that going. But, yeah, I got to make the bracketry and get all that done. And I got to get mine working, too. Right now I'm using a voltmeter. I really want to use, the software from Dave. But we'll get back into that mode. He's been busy. I've been busy. And I've just been making do with what I got over here, pretty much. But, yeah, you were up about 30 dB over 9. Now, remember, on my SDR, whether it be the SDR's fault or the MFJ's fault, doesn't make any difference. There is a built-in almost 30 dB difference. It's not selective on who. It's 30 dB all the time. Everything on my S meter is roughly 30 dB less than what it really is. I don't know if that's the way it always is. I used to see the overload light come on. It hasn't, and I think it's a software thing. So you could add 30 dB to whatever the S meter says, as long as I don't have any attenuation in. If I have attenuation in, then you got to add that too. But it doesn't change what I hear. It's not that I'm hearing 30 dB less. In other words, if I had to go to the other receiver, I still hear things the same way. But what the S meter says is in real life would be 30 dB more than what it says for whatever reason. But I'm not messing with it. You know why? Because I can key my station down right underneath my SDR, and it doesn't distort. Check this out. I'm going to switch over on YouTube to my SDR feed. This is the SDR feed right here on YouTube. And so I'm feeding YouTube with the SDR. And I can prove that because I can change the frequency on the SDR to... I'm gone right there. One channel up. That's the... Get up back. That's the SDR. This is a 7300 right here. And I'm right underneath my antenna. That's a 7300 receiver. This is a CB, a 148 GTL with no antenna on it. And sitting right up underneath here. And there's the Drake. So anyway, when you look at the YouTube video, you'll see all those different receivers pulling my signal right off the air and going right over. And I just like the fact that the SDR can let me do that. You know, a lot of people with the SDRs, when they go into transmit mode, they get annihilated. So anyway, for whatever reason, it's working, and I ain't going to argue with the break.
Oh yeah, that's convenient for sure. I've not even had to mess with too much to do a whole lot of muting and a little ring in mine. Lord, where did that come from all of a sudden? I'm gonna pull my monitor down. That's a beautiful thing. Don't even have to really do much with it, and already kind of set to the right spot and doing everything you needed to do. Hey, Triple, you know, I got one of them headphone amps. That's convenient too. Not having to change my listening volume on my monitor, which in turn doesn't change the volume of the live feed. And I can just reach over to that headphone preamp that you hooked me up on too. And doggone if I can't just roll that dial around and put it where I need to. Triple M, it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad we got some conditions. And man, it's good to hear that hammer out here. You ain't had a single interruption there, come on.
Yeah, 14. You know what? You're peaking back up around the 30 again. You're dancing around 30 dB, so you're peaking back up in here real good. Ain't no doubt about that. Hey, Motormouth Mall cruising this thing. Got down right there. Breaker. Let's go.
Bye-bye, 12.
Yeah, 410 on the 30. Yeah, you're stuck over there about 10.
Georgia, bang, bang, bang. I'll see you.
Up here about the center, about where Prime was the other day, so doing real good, man, some good numbers on you. But you pulled back to the last year, just know the things are kind of I really pass on the SDR. About down, like solid. Your little SDR light, I want to say you said it was 35 over one of the biggest numbers you ever seen over there. At the time, anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, between you and Prime Minister, I don't think I've ever seen any bigger hammers than those two out there so far in my radio. Pretty doggone impressive. I mean, I don't know where it can go from here. I have no idea where it can go. And by the way, for the rest of the escape, I'm going to go ahead and nudge the bass up a little bit. But tell me if I got to come back with it a little bit, but I'm going to nudge it up all the way right there. That's a lot of bass. I don't know what it's going to sound like on a regular 2000 or 148 or CB radio, but I put a lot of bass up in there, and I got to talk real quiet. Hey, Derail, I'm going to talk real quiet, but I got all my bass up in there and see what that does. Motormouth Mall cruising this thing, one fat watt at a time. I got down right to breaker.
I might cut mine back down. I cut up my volume on my headphone amplifier to hear it real good. So it might make me squeal too. But yeah, sounds good. It might rob a little bit of your energy from your mids, but it didn't get muddy. It's passing it all on this side. Too, man. It get like the hiss, the shh of an SDR, and passes some real heavy lows too. But yeah, you're passing it all over there.
14. Well, I'm rolling the highs off. I don't have anything above 5 kilohertz. My filters are at 5. Everything slopes off from there. And my peak highs are right in at about 3,600. So I don't have a whole lot of bandwidth. I can probably roll the bandwidth up a little bit wider here. Let me go all the way up to NRSC. I don't have NRSC audio, so it won't make any difference. No, I don't have NRSC audio. You would hear it if I played music. Like if I played some royalty-free music, you would hear it here. Check this out once. Watch this. You might have heard a change up in there. I don't know if you did or not, but you'll hear it on YouTube. Motormouth Mall cruising, one fat watt at a time. Your West Coast undermodulated beats dropping this great big old hammer. Stop that, please. Thank you. And Ed's trying to get up in there from time to time. Derail, Georgia, Motormouth Mall, your West Coast undermodulated beast dropping this great big old hammer. I got down.
12 in Motormouth Mall, got my radio toe up.
Yeah, we're about 42 minutes into the game. So you made some more changes.
And you got me on that jumping in, man. I gave too much on you can't
63 coming up, plugging the hammer down for probably first 20, 25 minutes of this game, maybe a little bit longer. You got to stick out there. And now you had to stick out there, so you get to check it out. Sure will, man. Got some good parts to it there. I got one little flip switch here. Well, I got a lot more than one. You know me, man. All these brake positions, I got like 6 of them. But let me flip this one here. See, that kind of pulls my highs back. It maybe adds a little bit more lows, but I think it takes a little bit too much of my range away. So, but you could call that the smooth switch. Hey, Triple M, if you wanted the dub plugger to sound smooth, you could run it right there. But, or I could flip it back up, add the highs back in there, and then watch this, I got a variable treble, I can add a lot of highs. And look at that, trying to feed back and squeal, and I can roll them all the way out. Hey, Triple M, that's my variable treble, let me roll it back up where it gets open, I guess it's somewhere around in here. Hey, Triple M, Derail, trying to bring it on back.
Well, I tell you what, I could hear all of the changes. Everything that you said happened exactly as you said it was going to happen. Let me drop my audio level down just a little bit. And I'm going to play this back one time for you. You hear what that thing did. Hey, Derail, check this out. Watch this.
42 minutes into the game. Stick out there, so you get to check it out. Sure will, man. Got some good parts to it there. I got one little flip switch here. Well, I got a lot more than one. You know me, man. All these brake positions, I got like 6 of them. But let me flip this one here. See, that kind of pulls my highs back. It maybe adds a little bit more lows, but I think it takes a little bit too much of my range away. So, but you could call that the smooth switch. Hey, Triple M, if you wanted the dub plugger to sound smooth, you could run it right there. But, or I could flip it back up, add the highs back in there, and then watch this, I got a variable treble, I can add a lot of highs. And look at that, trying to feed back and squeal, and I can roll them all the way out. Hey, Triple M, that's my variable treble, let me roll it back up where it gets open, I guess it's somewhere around in here. Hey, Triple M, Derail, trying to bring it on back.
Wow, that was a minute and 38 playback. Hey, Derail, you smoking, ain't no doubt about that. All the adjustments, you're going to like what you hear on YouTube because they're all up on there, and they sounded all real good, and I don't even know if my playback did it justice, but you could probably even hear it on the playback. Hey, Derail, Motormouth Mall, cruising.
No, the playback's great. It sounds good, Triple M. You got it going on. You'll have to monitor it, I guess, about 45 minutes in. But good Lord in court, I thought the big boxes couldn't key that long. Hey, Triple, you said that was, what do you say, a minute and 38 seconds? That's too long for a big box to key up, Triple M. And I have no AC, nothing with the air in that room other than a window. and it's 85 degrees in Georgia. Hey, Triple M, a big box cannot key that long. You only got the windows open. It's 85 degrees outside in Georgia. Hey, yeah, let me get off the key, Triple M, I'm out.
Yeah, I never understood why people worried about how long they keyed down. You know, if you build a box right, you build an ample power supply, and you run things right, these things are commonly keyed down for day after day after day after day after day after, you know, get the idea, 24/7. And they keep running, you know, and they do that on one tube for a year and a half for 2 years, every single day. So I have no idea why people worry about key down time. I know I don't have any key down time. I got to remember to get my finger off this button or a doggone thing will stay keyed up indefinitely. Hey, derail, motor mouth, all working this great big old hammer. One fat watt at a time with no key down limitation.
Hey, oh boy, Duck Smasher ain't up.
Hey, they probably got them big fans. Hey, Triple, they probably, you know what I mean by that? They look like a blower, but really they're just a big old fan, just blowing free air. Hey, Triple, they forget to look at the static pressure. They need to look at the specs on them tubes and make sure that cotton picker's pressurized like it needs to be. It ain't got no static pressure. They ain't gonna stay cool. Then they just blowing a big fan on them. Triple M, I'm right back.
Yep, that's exactly right. You want a doggone turbocharger. If you got enough air to push the tube out of the socket, you probably are about doing it right. If you got enough air to push the tube out of the socket, you got enough air. But yeah, static pressure is everything, man. That's why I use these Rotron 600 CFM Rotron blowers. I don't mess around with doggone squirrel cages that break.
So I'm gonna sit back and listen.
Some good stuff. Mine's a Dayton, and you know the bad thing, I couldn't even tell you what it is right now, but I think they're about $1,500 a piece or so, and it could be a little more, a little less. But there's 4 of them pluggers in there, and they're all inside the cabinet. But even though it's all enclosed in the cabinet, with these switches to fire like a jet airplane, you heard it before?
You know, if you just circulate the air in the tank cavity a little bit, you know, just put don't even worry about the exhaust stuff, you know. Just circulate the air fast enough, it'll be all right. No, just kidding. You know, that's how I do on mine. I got the blower underneath the RF deck, and it sits inside the power supply. So the blower, to cool off the RF deck, it's got to suck the air through the rectifier stack and around the transformer, up through the power supply cabinet, up into the RF deck, where then it blows directly onto filament chokes and the filament, and then exits up to the chimney, and then straight out the top of the tube. Very little eddy currents inside the RF deck, and that's how it does the break. That's how, and so everything's getting cooled all at the same time. The only thing I got to do in mine is I got to reroute the exhaust instead of into the open room, which has a 4-foot by 8-foot door. It doesn't matter, but instead of exhausting it into that room, I'd like to exhaust it outside that room, you know, into the other part of the shop. And so it pulls cool air in from the door and exits the hot air out the top there. But not a big deal, the break.
King, man, but he still got that hammer.
Hey, perks of being an engineer. Hey, John, that's because you're an engineer. Everything you got is designed. And I know that RF deck is designed correctly. You're talking about them currents, man. I guarantee you got very little recirculating current in that thing. And you won't when you go bigger neither, because you know exactly what you're doing. But yeah, the only thing I'd probably change on mine, if I stay out here like I'm keying right now, and I do this about 4 hours, like I did last Sunday, I get out of here, I gotta cut the power supply from my blower, cut the power supply, I'm clogging it off. So if I heat up the core of that transformer from hammered down so long, I got nothing to kind of keep it cool without keeping the high voltage on. So I can't put that on a different switch. Triple M, I'm coming back.
410. The only only circulating current I got in this amplifier is in the plate circuit, in the tank circuit. I got a whole heap of bunch of circulating current in this tank circuit, that's for doggone sure. But no eddy currents and no circulation issues with the air within the power supply and the box and all that stuff. The transformer may start getting warm if you key down for a long time, but so far not warm enough to be a problem. But I do want to upgrade. I got this bigger transformer sitting here. It's out of a television station. It's a great big huge thing. Anyway, I want to put it in line, but I haven't done it yet. The transformer's out in the shop, out around the corner, and it'll substitute the one that's inside. I'll leave it there, but I'll run the high voltage and the ground over to that other cabinet. But I haven't done that yet there, Break. I'm still working the small one.
Hey, man, run your 3 ways on your supply to make that stuff kind of interchangeable for all those or you just kind of split one of the phases and run it a little bit less than what is rated or what?
That's how I'm doing this one. This one, I split the phases apart. I'm taking the 208, and I've run it on the other tap of the transformer, but to try to step it up a little bit. But I'm running 208 right now, single phase, or one of the 3 phases on this one. But the one that's outside that I'm going to put in line is 208 3-phase with taps, and it's intended to be used on 208 3-phase. And that's what I have here is 208 3-phase. I got 400 amps of 208 3-phase to break.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a cool deal, man. Sure is. All right, Triple M, I won't hog it up too much, man. I've shot my 5 and a couple others, man. Ain't no telling how many dub pluggers been trying to holler to you. You said you was rolling that gate, man, so I think a bunch of them was up there hooping and hollering. Hey, Triple M, I'm dialing it on down. Bye-bye.
Oh, no, I'm rolling the gate, and they might have been trying to do some hooping and hollering, but they ain't even getting close to touching you right now. Hey, Derail, they ain't even close. And nothing but you all up on here. I heard a few voices here and there underneath, but nobody rolling in there with you. Hey, Derail, it's all you. I'm going to get out of here like you say. I think I shot my knuckles worth, and I'm going to get back on the side, read the mail. I got a bunch of stuff I got to clean up outside, and it's 2 o'clock already, so I need to get something in my tummy, too. So we'll catch you a little bit later on. Always a pleasure with the double measure. I let the frequency roll. I didn't mean to tie it up out here. I don't do that every often. I usually run this stuff on the low side, but you put stuff up in the air and you got to test it out. You want to run it through its paces. You got to see if it works. Ain't no doubt about that. And by the way, the audio might be up a little bit higher like that right there. Maybe it's better. Hey, Derail. Motor, mouth, mall, cruising. 1 fat watt at a time. I got down, breaker.
Hello, more what?
Yeah, still pass that pretty good, too. Might be a little cleaner the other way, though. But if you did run up there, you could probably dial back the mid and the bass just a touch to run higher. But if you got the envelope like you want it certainly sounded fully modulated at the less, so you don't even really have to mess with it. Oh, I forgot I got other switches. I don't remember what they do. I forgot to label this one. It's been too long. Here, there's the bottom. No one trim at the bottom there. Look like it got a little bit heavier on that switch. Went back to the center. There's to the top right there. Let me go to the bottom. I kind of like the bottom. Now let me flip to the top here. Uh-oh. That one took all my highs. That was too much bass. I swamped it. Hang on, let me flip it down to the bottom. Now maybe I could do that. That's like a halfway point. Let me go to the top again and push the treble. It can't get out of me. The top. Let me go back to the center. That's too much. Let me pull the treble back. Let me try this other one here. Flip it up. And then let me go back to the center, flip it down. All right, man, I'm done playing around. I still got more to flip, but I'm going to leave them alone. Bye-bye.
Man, you got a lot of switches to flip over there. Holy cow, you got a lot of switches over there to flip. But I'm going to play that back one time, then I'm going to get my knees up in the breeze and get my hat and scat. Check this out. Dial back the mid and the bass just a touch to run higher. But if you got the envelope like you want it certainly sounded fully modulated at the less, so you don't even really have to mess with it. Oh, I forgot I got other switches. I don't remember what they do. I forgot to label this one. It's been too long. Center, there's to the top right there. Let me go to the bottom. I kind of like the bottom. Now let me flip to the top here. Uh-oh.
That one took all my highs. That was too much bass. I swamped it. Hang on, let me flip it down to the bottom. Now, maybe I could do that. That's like a halfway point. We go to the top again and push the treble. In case you get out of it. Let me pull the treble back. Let me try this other one here. Flip it up. And then let me go back to the center, flip it down. All right, man, I'm done playing around. I still got more to flip, but I'm going to leave them alone. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. We'll catch you later on. While you got a whole lot of switches over to mess around with, I'm done messing around. I'm going to go clean up my mess over here, and I'll be back in a little bit. Take care. Derail around Georgia. Motormouth Mall, your West Coast beast, sitting out here on the Central Coast of Cali. I got down right
Not even doing no tags.
Like you. Like me too.
I won't be back. Hey, Witch Doctor Superman said,
Torture, bye. And Superman, tell Witch Doctor I said hello. And Windjammer, if you still got any kind of a sloppy copy, I'll be listening to the gate as soon as I get off in here and get this stuff all cleaned up. And we'll catch you a bit later on, too. Appreciate that. Motormouth Mall waving and stepping. Y'all have a good day. I'm out. See ya. Bye.
All right, good. Superman said, I'd get back with you. This 1, 2, 3 falls down. No doubt about it. AG, man. Good deck smasher. Bobby Florida. It's clearing on. Bye-bye now. No bogus fives on it. I'll see you. Get back. I gotta put this drive out like that and do what I do. Hey, Witch Doctor, you been out there. I'm just having too much fun. Superman, the most Superman. Bang. No contact on the west side. I heard somebody call CC. No contact. Hello, on the west side. It's raining out here in the Carolinas. Hello, somewhere around California. He can't stop me. He can ride on my antenna, but he can't stop me. One time if I got into Mother Nature. Hello, 270 Colorado, we turned up your wing. Hey, 270 Colorado, get in to you, big brother. I just turned up your wing. 270 CC wave. Yeah, but he's too fat to fly. He's too fat to fly. Say, oh, Red Eye Crow, you know who you are. You got it right, don't you know that? Too fat to fly. Too fat to fly. Stop it. Stephen County, Alabama, I'll see you. Check. Yeah, we got our church, man. We went and had a big old... Bye, mongoose. I'm gonna stand by. That's my teacher. He used to let us drink beer in the class. That's my teacher, Witch Doctor. He used to let us drink beer in the class. I'm gonna stand by for my teacher, Witch Doctor. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see who I'm trying to holler. I don't know who I'm trying to holler. Hey, Drill Sergeant, Red Eye Crow. Hey, Drill Sergeant, Red Eye Crow, right? Don't set them pine trees on fire. Hey, mongoose, don't set them pine trees on fire. I'll see you. You got it. I think somebody gave us something to drink. Hey, Drill Sergeant, I believe that girl don't have too much to drink, man. It's raining out here in the Carolinas. But Drill Sergeant, I just want to wave my hand and get out of here, cause there's a whole lot of dust up in here. Take care, Drill Sergeant. Mr. Red Eye Crow just came. No, over the top, Witch Doctor. Windjammer over the top. Windjammer over the top. Windjammer over the top. Bang, bang, bang. Hello, Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor, Super Dog, South Carolina. Hey, Witch Doctor, Super Dog, East. too easy. It's too easy, witch doctor. It's too easy. I'm standing by. Bang, bang, bang. All right, drill sergeant. Drill sergeant, red eye crow in the hills of East Carolina. Bye, bye, bye. Hey, wait, Kevin, like you, me too. Dr. Keys. Catch you later, witch doctor. Catch you later, witch doctor. You got that hammer down in Windjammers Radio. And I'm gonna stand by and read the mail, witch doctor. Bang, bang, bang. Hello, Fireball, 1 pill. Push yourself up. South Carolina with no condition, wait, they got down. Say it, I played it. I didn't say it, I played it. Bye, bye, bye. Bruh, I'm just a little bitty man. Bad boy, go. Hey, D-Rella, you said... Thank you for that playback. Thank you for that playback, boy. Don't touch it, witch doctor. You got it set right. You got it set right. Bye, bye, bye. Station at the middle of the road, so these something they can put grooves in my something big in the head. Triple five down here in these woods is reading his mail. So, well, it's working for you, witch doctor. Hey, witch doctor, it's working for you. I'm gonna stand by. They running behind me. They running behind me, witch doctor. Bang, bang, bang. What's going on? You taking the West Coast? Sweet Blade, he came down. I got trees on the coast, man. 10-12 on the coast. Take care, Sweet Blade, I'm back to the game. Bye, bye, bye. Super Dog, South Carolina. He running behind me. He running behind me. He running behind me, witch doctor. Hey, witch doctor, he running behind me. He's still running behind me, witch doctor. Bang, bang, bang. He been running behind me all day. All day he been running behind me. Catch you later, witch doctor. He's running behind me. Catch you later, witch doctor. Bang, bang, bang. I got him stuttering. Bang, bang, bang. 220 here. I slow key, sweet bird. You're a bad good player. Sweet bird, I slow key, man. You're a bad good player. Take care, my friends. I got him stuttering. He don't know what to say to him. I got him stuttering. Catch you later, witch doctor. That's a butt whipping. That's more than 3 keys. That's an ass whipping. Bang, bang, bang. Sweet Blade in Mississippi, my radio. Green light on for my super duck. Bang, bang, bang. Hey, Fireball, I heard you bump down and call for me, man. I hear a dumb looking 300 out there. You were downtown trying to get with California? I'm gonna do a drive by one time and I'm going back to the game. Hello, 300, y'all, Dr. 455 with the wave. I'm stepping back to the game. Bye-bye. Here come 300 and Fireball. Bang, bang, bang.
going back to the race.
Mr. One Thing in the Water with no Mother Nature, goddamn.
Superman said, I holler.
Hey, Fireball, while you rocking the mail? Hey, Fireball, Nighthawk in Virginia, break. Super Dog, east side of South Carolina, wing.
Fireball, I hear what you said, dude. Hey, Fireball, you said Windjammer said over the top. Windjammer said over the top. Windstopper, bang, bang, bang. Blackbird is wagging, we just do it.
I'll see you, brother.
Dirty One, it ain't your turn to burn. I ain't back up your bed. It's your turn to burn, Dirty One. Dirty One, it ain't your turn to burn. Here I don't cut the radio off. Take care of this time. I got a copy. Superman with a smile driver said, I get that with you. Jam my bang, bang, bang.
Little Bapper, hey, red eye, pro Blackbird on the west side of Rolling, goddamn.
Black Smoke in Florida. Hello, 300 Black Smoke. 300 Smoke on the power. Audio.
Well, see, they bring them to you. Real good. We'll do it again when we can. Hey, Fireball, Nighthawk in Virginia getting down.
Don't stop. How about Windjammer? Start the Windjammer, Georgia, go.
We always got chicken, right?
Go outside and don't cry. get on back to the game. Where's that? About the 455. What's your name, bro? No riot, 5 balls. East side of take care of Wish got the road.
Hey, Blackbird, what about your president?
I'm a badass fireball. I'm a badass. Wish got the road, got the 455. Back to the game, bye-bye. 5 balls. Super Dog trying to get it right back. Come on. Take care of it.